this one too far?
This past week has done anything, it should just give us some perspective. I mean, if there's one thing we should have after this week, it should be a sense of perspective about what's important. And, I would like to think that members of that caucus would say to themselves, you know what, we disagree with the president on a whole bunch of things. We wish the other guy had won. We're going to fight him on a whole range of issues over the next 4 years. We think his philosophy is all screwed up. But right now, what the country needs is for us to compromise.
Well, County Republican Congressman Louie Gohmert offended the president would actually use that school shooting tragedy in Connecticut to push his agenda on the cliff. Congressman, it did take some people back. What do you think?
Well, I mean, he actually did a beautiful job at the service, starting off and finishing, but he couldn't get away from making political jabs during the course of his comments. So it's no surprise that he would use something like this. But and that's why some of us have had to stand up and say, quit fighting your anti-gun battle and deceiving people on what really the issues are. But let's talk about the facts. And when he says compromise, just keep in mind, John Boehner went the whole deal. Okay, Mr. President, you were willing to do, you were demanding $800 billion in additional revenue. Let's just go ahead and do that, get that out of the way. He said, oh no, that was back then. Now I'm at 1.6. That's his idea of compromise. It is not a deal. And I would remind you that back at the end of July of a year and a half ago, as Charles was alluding to, there were people, including our Republican leadership, that said this super committee will reach an agreement. Some of us saying, well, of course it's not going to reach an agreement. The president, Harry Reid, they don't want an agreement. And if you'll remember, Neil, I think it was John Thune, somebody made a proposal on the table with revenue, and a couple of senators said, wow, this is a breakthrough. We'll get a deal because of this. They go talk to Obama and Reid, and they come back sorry. Apparently for political reasons, they were not going to reach an agreement.
That was then. This is now. I'm a little alarmed with the president using this school shooting to. It's one thing to say, all right, we got to address violence in our society, and that was fine to discuss that in this, a quickly arranged presser.
Well, but now for the sake of these
I do want to talk about. He is now trying to say that the prevailing mood that exists in this country does not allow. I think what he's saying, for much debate and consternation and opposition. So either go along with me, or you look like you're not in sync with the public mood. I mean, that's a big leap.
Charles, it's worse than that. He's inferring you either go along with me or you're creating more havoc for the deaths of these poor children. I mean, good grief.
Well, what he's saying, Congressman, is that given the mood where we're all coming together now, the part of coming together, I guess, is for Republicans to fold and cede to his wishes. How do you feel about
That's right. Well, it's obviously I have a huge problem with that because Charles was alluding and he mentioned, that S&P said, we're too ineffective in Congress. Actually, what they said is you either cut $4 trillion over 10 years or you're going to get downgraded. And to their credit, they kept their word because we didn't cut $4 trillion. And what are we doing in this bill that the president doesn't want any real cuts? He wants more stimulus spending, and he's willing to use this tragedy in Newtown to say, jump on board, let's give me all the stimulus, let's raise taxes only on the people I want to raise taxes on. I mean, come on, let's do the right thing for America. That's what ought to be coming out of these tragedies, not a president saying it's my way or the highway. His idea of compromise is get on board or you're part of the problem.
All right,
we need to have compromise, but we got to have spending cuts. That is the bottom line.
Congressman, thank you very much. We're going to be exploring this a little